Welcome to the Ney and Jay podcast. We got a special guest today. I'm excited to have her share some of the things that she's going to be doing for us. Abby, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and tell everybody who you are.
Hi guys, my name is Abby Goodway. I'm a new team member to Miller Storm team, and thank you. And I'm gonna be recruiting acquisitions manager for the team.
Talent acquisitions manager, right? That's what we want to go with because we're trying to build an enterprise.
Exactly.
Right? We're a mid-sized business now. This is as small the company's ever going to be. All right, so we're looking to make sure we fill the right roles from day one. All right, so talent acquisition manager, Jay. How many people we're gonna hire, man? We just got the LeBron of recruiting on the team now.
I hear that.
Biggest free agent signing in the history of Miller Storm.
You tell me, Abby. What do we got going on August 19th?
20. At least 20 new ones.
20
Ready to
quality.
20 quality reps.
20 quality reps.
Nice, very
Our
good.
core values.
Very good. So what are talk to me, Abby. What are some of the things we're going to be looking for to hire in a rep?
Values. They have to have a good values. They have to have a good physical contributes. They can climb the roofs, as funny as we can say. They have to do the labor and the hard work. Loyal for sure. Know how to communicate. Somebody that want to stay for the long run, not just come in and check out. That's just some of them for sure. A grinder. We want somebody that's ready to grind.
Okay. How many people do you think you're going to talk to between today? Today's August 2nd, right? Mm-hmm. Between August 2nd to August 19th, when we hire 20 people, how many people do you expect to speak to from now to then?
The goal is 1,288. That's how many leads we have right now. My goal is to touch each of them.
All right, so almost 1,300 people you're going to talk to in the next, 17 days?
Bring it on. Yep.
Bring it on, baby. All right, and the reason we're going to do that is because volume negates luck. Okay, we're not trying to get lucky and find that diamond in the rough like some people do. They headhunt, they wait forever to find somebody, and they wonder why their company never grows. We're going to do a bunch of volume. We're going to get a bunch of people in the door. We're going to train the crap out of them.
Yes, sir.
And we're going to end up with 100 quality reps before the end of the year. All right. Most people know exactly what they need to do to be successful. What do you think holds them back? Either one of you can answer. Yeah, Jay. All right, Jay's up.
Let's go, boss.
Taking action. Action. A lot of people sit around and they think about what they're going to do or talk about what they're going to do, and they never take action. So I'll take somebody who takes action over their intelligence and how good they think they are. Someone who'll take action immediately, quickly, is going to win hand over fist every single time.
Yeah, I'll take it a step further. Something that held me back, it grew me, but also held me back was the tail end of my Army career. I just wanted the option to make my own mistakes, right? To make my own decisions, be able to make my own mistakes.
Win or learn.
That's it. That's all I wanted, right? And now I've been able to do that. Made a ton of mistakes. Let's be clear. I didn't just step in like, boom, it's all great. Made a ton of mistakes, but that's what all I wanted, right? So take action. Yeah. Have the opportunity to make your own mistakes. I know another thing we wanted to talk about was the trip we just took on, Thursday?
One?
Thursday. We took multiple trips this week. I
feel like we've been on the road this
Nobody's working harder than us, right? We probably put 450, 500 miles on that truck in 2 days. Yeah. Maybe more.
I just had positive self-talk. I'm like, this is going to be worth it. This is going to be worth it.
You got a big, nice truck. Yeah. All right. What kind of truck you got?
AT4. Yeah, 2023 AT4 Sierra, yeah.
Nice. You know what an AT4 is in the Army?
No.
It's a rocket launcher. When you say AT4, I mean, it was like rocket launcher. I'm like, okay, cool.
Now when I sit it, I'm going to feel a lot better. I feel like I'm sitting in a rocket launcher.
Dude, it really is. The thing can pick up. So where did we take it on Thursday, though? I want to talk about that trip while we're fresh here.
We went to go visit a connection that Adam Bensman made. He said that we needed to talk to this guy, John McHughes, out of Oklahoma. He said he was a really successful roofing company owner, commercial, residential. It was fun. It was funny because I texted him when Adam made the connection and he didn't respond, and I was like, well, maybe my introduction was off.
Right.
And then I sent him a solo text message, and No response there.
Crickets.
At least, I was just sitting there for a little bit like, okay, maybe, I don't know, maybe he's a busy guy. But when we were on our way back from Round Rock, he calls. And so we answer, and he's done, what was it, like $80 million in revenue in 1 year. And we're like, we want that. And I'm like, I'm at a lower part of this mountain trying to figure out how you got to where you are on your mountain.
Yeah.
And then he invited us out. He said, hey, I have a men's group. And it really wasn't as much professional stuff, right? It wasn't a mastermind. It was just a men's group where we could all talk.
Yep.
And he invited us out to his property in Oklahoma, which was, 3 hours away. But he starts this workout and cold plunge with a bunch of guys. I don't know if they're every Monday or Thursday at 6 a.m., but he was like, you guys should come up. And that was Wednesday night.
Yeah.
We didn't get back from Round Rock till 9 p.m.
Yep.
And then you were like, what'd you say?
I was like, hey, I'm going. I don't know if you want to go or not. But I was like, I want to go to this. You should definitely come.
Yeah.
But if you don't go, I'm still going to go. I was like, because these are the guys, like, I know I'm a big networker. And I know when I hear people say these certain things, and he was like, hey, I said, hey, if you're crazy enough to invite me to your workout, I'm crazy enough to show up. And so I'm like, I'll hop up at 3 and I'll be there by 6 and we'll get a badass workout then. That's exactly what we did.
Yeah. For the first 10 minutes, maybe it was the first 20 minutes, I was like, dude, we're getting home at like 9 o'clock. I was like, by the time I get my kids to bed and say hi to my 5 kids and my wife, it's like I'm going to go to sleep at 9:30. I'm doing all the math. I'm like, I'm going to get 3.5 hours of sleep, and then we're on our way to Oklahoma. But then it dawned on me that you have to do crazy stuff like that and take action that fast, or you can miss opportunities.
Yep.
Had the voice that told me, hey, you need some sleep, overpowered what the other shoulder was telling me, which was, you need to go meet this guy. Like
what
Adam.
does David Goggins call that voice?
The voice. We all battle with it, right?
Do 100%.
And like, really, like, hats off to you, because there have been a lot of times in our partnership here that you have this Spartan mentality that you're like, nope, we're doing it. And I'm like, all right. And because I never had that, right? Like, I never had people like you in my life that have pushed me through some barriers that I actually wanted to go through. It was just, I felt like kind of a Spartan on his own. I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I could, but no one's going to come with me.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What
So
happens
hats
when I
off
go?
to you, man. And maybe you shed a little light. So we get there, right? We did leave at 3 a.m. We brought Sheik.
Shiki. I call Shiki. I hit Shiki up at like 9:45. Sheik, when I hit you at like 9:45, I'm like, hey, bro, we're leaving at 3 a.m. to go to this dude's house. Badass roofer, about to work out. I think be some cool content. Can you come? Without hesitation, he goes, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, we're rolling. We in there. I said, it's going to be cool. I knew it was going to be a cool experience.
Yeah.
I've created cool experiences in my life over and over and over. I knew this was going to be another one.
Yep.
And I'm like, always have my content lens on. And so I'm like, got to capture this moment.
Yep.
And that's exactly what we did. It was pretty
And
cool.
talk is cheap. Talk is cheap. I mean, because we showed up. Like, that connection was made, and we showed up at John's house at 6 a.m, did exactly what we said we were going to do, and we showed how serious we are about where we're taking this thing. And so people take you seriously, right? Like, the $100 million guys are like, okay, like, if you need me, right? Like, in that relationship is just huge, right? If you could tap into that. So
What do they say?
that was awesome.
This is how legends are made. Whoa. I was like, dude, I was like, this is gonna be cool, man. That was awesome. I had a really good time out there with him, man. We shot a bunch of content. You guys will probably see a bunch of that stuff dropping soon. That dude's a quality person.
Yeah.
He's just a quality person in general.
He is.
Not even just on the business side. Because even when I told you, I was like, hey, let's go up here. I don't even got to talk business. I said, let's just work out with this dude, connect with him, see what it's about. We ended up talking a whole bunch of business because like we're all a bunch of businessmen. But it's like, I was like, let's just, if we were just worked out and dipped, I was like, that's a win for me, because I was like working out and hanging out with cool people, and that would have been enough for me. But to get the full experience and trips to his offices, super cool.
Yeah, it was.
Let's pivot real quick. Abby, you worked for me for about a year now. You've been a top producer, one of our top talents. I told Jay, I was like, hey, if I had a draft of all the people I've worked with, this would be my first round pick, right? And so I was like, how do you think your skills are going to translate from the dispo side to recruiting?
I'm tough. I'm tough at dispo. That's why I became successful at it. So I think I will be a little bit more pickier than an average recruiter is. So, and I will be looking more at people for their experience and what they're capable to bring to the table than base it on emotions than usually people do as a recruiting position. They're like, oh, I feel like they're going to be a good match for this position. No, like, I'm going to evaluate, can you do this? And can you do this for a long time? And will you be successful? Yeah. That's it. So I think I will translate that from the contracts for houses to people. That's it. They're going to become a new project for me.
And boy, do we need that.
No, so I can't wait to see Jay's face. So you're going to come to the Monday meeting. I can't wait to see his face when you report your numbers from today, tomorrow, and Sunday to him on Monday. And then the next Monday. Those numbers. I can't wait to see his face. Because both of y'all are the same. Y'all talk with y'all's face. And it's hilarious to watch. That's why I love working with both of y'all. It's like fun. I told her, I was like, Jay, it's just like you. I was like, this is hilarious to watch.
They say 80% of communication is nonverbal, but like 95% of mine is.
Yeah, no, yeah. You guys are both the exception. It's like
as much as I try,
I could talk to you without you saying anything. I could say something and be like, I know how to respond. I can talk to you again and respond again. I can get pretty far down the road with both of y'all. Like, it's hilarious to do.
And me as an owner, you were painting a picture. I mean, me as an owner, I have such a big heart that I want everybody to win, that I've made so many bad decisions of letting people in. You know, I'm like, oh, you're going through a divorce? Oh, she left you because you weren't making enough money? Oh, you'd be great here. I'll just teach you everything, you know? And like, that's not always the way to do it. So you having that eye where you don't make emotional decisions, plus with your experience that you have from dispo and being a tough cookie like you are, I think you're going to kill it.
Thank you.
Welcome, the LeBron of recruiting.
The LeBron of recruiting. One thing I told her earlier, because both of y'all needs like words of encouragement, I think, both of y'all. And so one thing I told Abby earlier was because she has no experience in this like recruiting world. Right. And so I said, hey, I've been listening to Layla and Hermosi and them consistently. I said she hired someone that was her personal assistant to be like her client success manager, who then moved into like a director of client success, who then moved to the VP of client success. Yeah. And so it was like she went through the whole thing.
Right.
And that's the journey you're about to go on. Because the one word I could describe you with is relentless. Right. And so I know you can do the job. And when we're looking for people to hire in these roles, let's say we like ran Indeed ads, right? And it's like 15 years of recruiting. You're like, man, this guy has a ton of experience. Well, why is that motherfucker still a recruiter? I'm like, is this the guy you want?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Sometimes it's better to hire a person that just has the mindset, the skill set, the soft skills to fill the role than someone that has experience. Because like, you haven't leveled up, homie, in 15 years. Yeah. You're still at the entry level job trying to get the higher end of the pay scale for this. I'm like, no, I'm not interested.
I've been at a sales consultant for a roofing company for the last 10 years. You're like,
and you still haven't sold?
Remember that one guy? He's like, I've been doing door knocking for 8 years. And we're like, have you led a team? No, you're just knocking doors. I'm like, okay.
Rough.
Yeah.
This is rough. One thing we tapped into earlier, we were discussing how we want to hire moving forward. And it was like, hey, we got to get people in here with the right core values that, you know, are into self-development. Right. And so one thing we talked about was reinforcing our culture and our standards. So, Jay, cover some of the cultures and standards that we have at Miller Storm.
Yeah. So 1 is be coachable. 2 is do what you say you're going to do. 3 is continually evolve. And then 4 is be people over profits mindset. I mean, we've touched on those before. I think what really puts us on the map and why we're different is how much personal development we do with our people, right? Like we say love ain't lies. You know, we call people out. Hey, man, I haven't seen you in the gym in the last week, right? Hey, like, what books are you reading? Like, what chapter are you on? Hey, I gave you that book a month and a half ago. You're on chapter 2. Like, what are you doing? You know, and so, and not to like demoralize or degrade people, but you know, there is a lot of accountability, but it also needs to be reinforced, right? Because we could get so caught up in the bottom line, the business and sales, that we forget what makes Miller Storm so special. Not forget, because there's a large majority of us that are on our personal development journey, but there are a few that we noticed today that we've just like, oh, yeah, no, we need to reiterate what we're about, you know, because we can't hold the standard for these guys coming in here if we're not holding the standard for everybody inside of the company. Now, we are not saying, hey, you just need to be ripped like Ney and Jay. You don't have to be ripped like us, but you know, what are you doing to develop each day and get 1% better, right? Like, and how are you adding value to the rest of the team? We have that motivation chat. Like, I expect everybody adds some sort of value, you know, whether that's wisdom, podcast, books, working out, whatever.
I mean, over the next few years, we're going to employ hundreds of people. And I know your mission statement when I came in was enhancing our neighborhoods by enhancing our people. Yep. And so we do that by reinforcing our standards and our culture. Yeah. Every single day. Yep. We do what we say we're going to do. And so, like, I just love that mission statement. I love those core values. I'm excited to change hundreds of lives. Because the real flex is how many people can you help, not how much money can you make.
Yep. Dude. How many lives you can change. That's what's the most rewarding thing about our industry.
Change, man. Yeah. Cool. Speaking of lives we can change, you just got a one local message. Dun, dun, dun. Right? What did that message you just got? Because we were in the car, right? We were in the car. I'm gonna tell the story, and Jay goes, "Did you see this?" I'm like,
dang, you put me on the spot.
He said, "Did you see this?" I was like, "Oh no, what was that?" I said, "I saw a message come across, but I didn't open it." He's like, "Read it," and so I start reading it. And I get through the first half. It's a message from a young kid. And then I get to the second half, and I'm like, I'm touched. I'm like, oh man. I'm like, did you read this? And what'd you say?
Yeah.
And I said, he said, yeah. And I said, no, you didn't, because if you read this, you might cry. And so I hand the phone back to him, and he reads it. And what did the message say?
From the top.
No, just from the second half.
The second part that I didn't read.
Read me the part you didn't read the first time.
All right, so the part that I didn't read was Mr. J's content and learning about his philosophy, mentality, and culture, which I resonate a lot with. I knew instantly this would be the best place for me to take my potential and talents to. It would truly be an honor to be part of the team like Miller Storm. I'm locked and loaded, ready to move over 500 miles away from my home, friends, and family for an opportunity like this. And I would love to schedule a call to talk about a potential future there for someone like myself. Please shoot me a call or a text. And he leaves his phone number.
What's his name?
His name is Anthony Harris.
Anthony.
Hey, Anthony, what's going on? This is Jay Miller with Miller Storm.
Hey, what's going on, Jay?
How you doing? Hey, I usually have my talent acquisitions manager reach out, but I actually got sent the email that you sent us, and I wanted to reach out to you personally first to tell you that I appreciate the kind words that you said, and I wanted to just personally reach out and just see kind of what you're doing now, where's 500 miles away, and I'd love to meet you in person, man, and really see if we're the best fit for each other.
Yeah, man, I'm definitely excited you gave me a call, man. I've been planning to do this for quite some time now. I saw you on my social media page one day, and then just everything that you were saying was just resonate with me. Right now, I'm in car sales. I've been in car sales since I was 19. I'm 22 years old now. I believe this month will be a year. It's been a cool industry. I got nothing bad to say about the industry, but for me personally, the kind of goals and skill sets that I want to acquire, the industry can't provide for me, as well as growth. I think any industry, as far as the door-to-door industry, can give me that, but I think it all comes down with me. You know what I'm saying? Put myself around the right people with the right mind frame, and that they want to grow, and that's what I see in you. And then once I saw that, I was like, yeah, this is the next step for me. And right now, I'm living in Alabama. That's where I was born and raised. But my lease ends this month, and once that's up, I'm locked and loaded. I'm ready to go.
Are you?
If you're willing to have me, yeah.
Hey, so I definitely want to have a chat. I think you have what it takes, especially if you've been in the car industry for 3 years. I mean, those some of the skills they teach you in that transfer well to door knocking. But first thing I look for anytime is somebody who has drive, and that's definitely what you have right off the rip. The personal development piece and being part of something bigger. I say if you want to be funny, hang around 5 comedians. If you want to be a millionaire, hang around 5 millionaires. I've got a question for you. So if I did offer you a position over here, would you get in your car and drive here? You said September. What about August?
Oh yeah, I mean August. Yeah, let me see. So I have everything situated and everything I need in order to make that move. For sure, the 23rd and the 24th. For sure, the 23rd.
The 23rd
of this month, for sure.
Could you be here by the 19th? I'm standing next to my talent acquisitions manager. We have a pretty big onboarding for new guys starting on the 19th of August.
Yeah, I can make that happen.
Can you make it happen?
Yeah, I can make it happen.
Okay.
Make it work.
I really like this guy.
We have limited spots. It looks like one of the spots taken.
All right, check this out. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put you in touch with my talent acquisitions manager. Her name is Abby. She's going to reach out to you. When can you reach out?
As soon as tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow?
Yep.
She'll reach out to you tomorrow morning. She's going to go into more depth with you as far as like details, the position, all of that. And then we'll get rocking and rolling from there.
All right, it sounds good.
Yeah, it was great to meet you. Thank you for the kind words. I'm humbled. And then we'll see if we get this started for you tomorrow morning.
Yes, sir. I'm excited as well. I appreciate you personally giving me a call.
Yes, sir.
It means a lot. And I look forward to meeting you, man.
Yes, sir. All right. We'll talk soon. All right, later.
And that is how you recruit, ladies and
Look at that first recruit
I'm a softie.
on my box.
I'm a softie. You say one nice thing to me, I'm like, you're hired.
And that is
You
why
like my shoes? I'm like, oh, you should be part of Miller's Storm. I know. It's terrible. That's why
I'm the chief talent officer. It's like, hey, what's up? Y'all trying to work? No. Don't do it. Now we got Abby in place too. She's even tougher than me. I'm like, let's go.
Yeah.
Great call. That's amazing, man. It's amazing how far your reach is already. All right.
you're not getting out of this. So
What?
last time you put all the questions on me. No.
What you got? Come on.
Hey, why don't you talk to me about this speaking engagement that you have for Renee Rodriguez, who's like one of the top shotters in the world. And he has an event going on in Dallas called AmpCon.
Yeah. AmpCon, August 16th. It's going to be myself, Renee, Dave Meltzer's going to speak. Derek Faye is going to be there. Flex Lewis, a handful of really good speakers.
I saw the lineup. I
Yeah.
was like, I'm just like blown away, like I'm just so grateful to be partners with you, dude. I'm like, yeah. So he's famous. I'm just gonna slide behind him. Hey, excuse me. Hey.
Yeah, no, dude. So one of my gifts that I've just kind of like naturally fallen into is the public speaking. I didn't set out to be like an influencer or speak on stages, but that's why it keeps happening for me. Right? I'm not trying to be famous. I'm not trying to be popular. I'm not trying to speak on stages. It's but I have a message to share. I feel like I can impact a lot of lives, and the more people I talk to, the more lives I can impact. And so I know I have a good message to share. I know I have good values. And so if I can get on stage, share my story, my message with as many people as possible, I can impact more lives.
What are you going to be talking about? Did they give you a topic for AmpCon? Is there some things you're going to cover?
Yeah, so AmpCon is mainly based on leadership and sales.
Okay.
So it's all and branding, right? So some of the guys with top brands are going to be there, dudes that have owned big sales companies, and then leadership. Leadership's always so important. It's so undervalued in companies,
It is.
And everybody doesn't really get it. And then as soon as they get good leaders, they're like, "Wow, I didn't realize I was even missing this. Didn't realize this was a whole thing."
Yeah.
Right? And so sales, leadership and branding, I feel like I excel in all three of those things. So I'm like a great fit for that speaking
And you're
engagement.
real low key about it.
Yeah, I mean, I do my work, and I just let it speak for myself. I let those things speak for myself. You know what I mean? Like I like to it's the work in the background that's really your brand, not the stuff you're telling everybody you're doing.
Right.
And so like we come on here, we come once a week, really to download what's happening, not to document our process, not to try and like go viral.
Yeah.
But when we chop it up and just make it short form content, but it's all the work that's done day to day.
Yeah.
That no one sees that shit.
Right.
They don't see my 8 to 8s. Yeah. I'm not on here like recording my whole day. They don't. We would say we only work half days. We only work half days, 12 out of the 24 hours. Like no one knows that. We got knocked till
you didn't
dark.
work a half day. I told my wife that when we started talking about that. I was like, yeah, we worked a half day. She goes, well, where were you the rest of the day? And I was like, no, half day, 12 hours to half a day, 12 hours out of 24.
Yeah. And so
almost got me in trouble.
No. I worked a lot today is what I'm trying to say. Yeah. So it's all the work that goes on in the background that really lets your brand speak, and people see that. And so I got an incredible opportunity to, share a stage with some more really badass entrepreneurs, some really cool investors.
Because you're one of them. Like seriously, that. I mean, like you belong on that stage, man, and like really, like hats off to you, man. And like, we say this all the time, but I really want you to talk about this on this, right? Like, what is the difference between a leader and a manager?
Yeah. So management, I'm not actually a really good manager. I think all the people that work for me know that, which is why I hire so many managers. Yeah. 'Cause I'm like, hey, I'm not the person that should keep the KPIs. I'm not the person that makes sure everyone shows up on time. I'm not that guy, right? But I lead lions. And so if you're really good at your job, I know how to get the most out of you.
Yeah.
I'm not the person I don't like stupid rules. Be on time, freaking make sure you got a clean shave. Like that's for me, like the Army just did so much of that to me. I'm like, no more.
Right.
Like I don't have to do that anymore.
Yeah.
I can hire people to be managers now. And so making sure that, those small rules are enforced, and that people are doing their jobs and that they're steady. Managers are steady. Mm-hmm. Like they're always going to be there at 9. Bro, I'm not always going to be there at 9. Sometimes I'm going to wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and drive to Oklahoma. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I'm not always going to be there at 9, but my managers will. Yeah. And I'll make sure that they're in a place to win. Mm-hmm. And so I need them to get all the small wins. So as a leader, I can focus on the big wins and take everybody there.
Yeah. Yeah. We hear it all the time. Guys are like, I'm a leader. I'm like, you're like,
you're a liar.
No, like a leader is when people start following you.
Yeah.
Right. I shouldn't have to give you the title of leader.
Yeah.
It should just automatically happen. Mm-hmm. By what you do on a day-to-day, how you carry yourself, your character, your personality, things like that. Developing leaders, right?
Tough.
What's your take on developing leaders? Because,
necessary but tough.
You've helped develop me a little bit. You're like, oh, dude, you gotta stop doing that. That's not what leaders do.
Well, sometimes you don't know what you don't know,
yeah.
Right? Because you're a leader in itself, but that doesn't mean we can't be like refined leaders.
Yeah.
Right? Hey, here's what I see that doesn't work. Here's what I see that does work. Because I've worked with, like being in the Army, I work with the 7th Army Training Command Sergeant Major who's in charge of the entire European command. There's no one else outranks him. He's the guy. He's everybody's boss, and I was his executive assistant. And so I watched.
Bosses.
Yeah, I'm like I got to like manage people with him essentially, and so I got a shortcut to leadership outside of all the classes and training I got in the Army. Like outside of all that, I got to then work with the highest level of leaderships and create classes and create doctrine inside the Army, and so all that translated over. What was the original question you just asked me though?
How do you develop leaders?
Yeah.
Right? Because I mean, sometimes you just can't hire a leader. You have to develop a leader, and developing a leader and developing a manager is two different things.
Yeah. So I develop leaders based off of potential. So I'm not looking for someone that's ready for it. I'm like, they have the potential to then be led or to then be a leader. And so now it's like, if I can get you to enforce standards, if I can give you these teachable moments and you're receptive, now I know I can trust you to, like, if you're not giving me pushback every time I give you a teachable moment, you can be developed.
Yeah.
Some people just want to give you that buck, and I'm like, that's a manager.
Yeah.
Fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
What we'll do is then we'll define your role, and then I'll just ask you to do these exact things.
Yeah.
And then now you can go manage people. But if you want to lead people, you have to be taught and developed.
Yeah.
So if you're giving me like buck backs, you're not trying to hear it, it's like, okay, that's fine.
The rebuttals.
Yeah, you always got something to say. Hey, I'm like, hey, actually, what I would have liked to have seen here is when they said this, you go to these people individually, or you address it as a group, or you say it this specific way so it comes across better.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh no, but I did that because, and it's like, no, see, that's what I'm talking about. Like, you have these reasons for everything, and I'm just trying to help you learn how to communicate with people.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, leadership and being a master communicator is really like how I've been able to make it in this game.
100%. Abby.
Yes, sir.
1,300 people.
1,300.
Get closer to that mic.
1,288.
Yeah. Have you ever done recruiting before?
No, not really. I mean, I suggested few people for few interviews, and they went through me first before I would bring it up to Ney and Jesus, because I'm not putting my name on the line for some crappy leads, you know?
100%.
But
they are a little bit of a representation of you.
They are.
You send through the door.
100%. They have suggesting you hire all these people. Okay.
they are. But just a little bit, really.
Yeah. So your hustle game must be on point. 1,300 people. How many days is that? Today's August
17.
17 days, 1,300 people. That's amazing. That just shows that you have hustle.
It's going to be done.
Yeah.
I'm ready. They're going to all have individual little files with their name, with their little resume stepped in.
Y'all
on
stay
it.
tuned. I'm bringing
Sticky
her
notes.
reports to one of these podcasts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited. Yeah. So reports are going to show KPIs, how many calls we made, how many people we talked to, how many interviews, how many positions did we offer it to versus how many people actually showed up for those offers. Because what business are we in, Naaman?
The recruiting, hiring, onboarding, training, and retaining.
Yeah.
That's it. If you can get those 5 steps right, you can be successful in this business.
You were in the people development business.
Yeah, straight up.
That's it. Developing people.
How can we take someone off the streets and turn them into a roofing consultant?
Right.
That's it. And how fast can we do it? If we can do it really fast, we can make a lot of money.
I was watching that Netflix show on the boy bands. Did y'all see that on the Netflix thing? Like, it was talking about, all right, well, hey, listen, I understand. I get it. But that guy, Lou Feldman or whatever, the guy that found NSYNC and Backstreet Boys, like how he went and like found these kids and then he would form them into groups.
Oh, yeah.
Because he knew how to put the groups together, which I just was intrigued about. You know, it's like he went and started this Backstreet Boys and then he went and found NSYNC and he put these 5. They were all very similar in how he put them together and made them, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was like, that is exactly the game we're in. Is like we are in the talent acquisitions recruiting world and we're trying to develop teams that are just going to be as successful as the last people that we put together. So it would be something cool to check out. Not that I was into NSYNC or anything. You know, it was it was a bye-bye. Yeah.
Wasn't that like the Deadpool? Was that the intro to
When
Deadpool?
he started dancing, yeah. As he's like stabbing people. All right. Yeah.
That was nasty. It was pretty funny. I was dying laughing. He had all the moves on point.
Yeah, he did.
I was like,
I remember that move.
what am I watching right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. All right. So we something I wanted to cover specifically for myself was my schedule change for the month.
Oh, yeah.
because I like to share this message with people because I know we're chasing a bag and we're going hard. But one thing I did this month in particular was I changed my schedule from, I start my day at 5:15 and I end it with work at 6:15. Whereas before I was like starting at 5, but still like working. We were doing like till 7, 8 o'clock most of the time. But this month in particular, it's like really the last month of summer, right? And I'm like, I want to spend this month picking up my kids from daycare every day and then taking them out to the pool as many days as possible every week at the house. Every day of the week is possible at the house. And so I was like, how do I do that? All right. So I like backed my schedule up to start an hour earlier. I'm 100% going to start at 8 every day this month. And that means that if I want to get my 2 hours of workout in, I got to get my ass up earlier. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, all right, I'm getting up early every day, get my workouts done by 7:15. I'm back out the door by 8, so I'm in my office at 8:15, all the way till 6:15, 10-hour days, 5 days a week, 50 hours. Instead of, I normally work about a 60-hour work week. This month, I'm just going to do 50-hour work weeks. And then 6:15, I'm going to pick my kids up from daycare every single day this month. Yeah. And so I'm pumped to just spend that time with them because they're only little one time. Yeah. And I'm like, all right, let's not let too much of this time go by. Yeah. Right. And so, like I always tell everybody, I'm like, you can be 8-figure earner, 8-figure husband, 8-figure father, 8-figure friend. 100%. You know what I'm saying? It's like, don't just talk the talk, man, walk the walk. And so, like, I did that to set the tone for myself in August to see how long I can keep that.
Yeah. And by you doing that, triggered some stuff in me, like where I was like, okay, like I need to be better with my time, be a time bender. I don't want to be the last time bender. Bah, bah, bah. Yeah. I heard something from Ed Milet one time talking about like make sacrifices, but don't make your kids the sacrifice because they're only young for so long, right? You know, and so I have 5 kids, so like I come in. You might
want to get off at like 3:15.
Yeah, I was like, well, if you're getting off at 6, I should probably get off. I was thinking maybe like 3:30.
I'm gonna start at 3 a.m. I can get my half day in.
Very inspirational name, and 3:30. No, I definitely have to set out time and time block quality time out for my kids, which we're doing a little switcheroo this time. But usually Saturday nights for me and my wife, and Friday nights are family Fridays, right? So like we set out, or like, all right, cool, like we're gonna dedicate our Friday now. Of course, we're switching it this time, so family night's gonna be tomorrow, but set quality time with your family is very important. Like, you know, social media always talks about the grind, and you got to hustle, and you got to give up what you got now for later, you know, but it's like, dude, you know, like you said, they're only young for a little bit, you know, they're only your little babies for a little bit, and just make sure you pay attention to that too.
I did a call with Andy Elliott last year in January. And before I was working with Jesus, but Jesus was on the call he was just part of the group that I was running, and he asked Andy. He said, "Andy, how do you become a badass dad?" And I thought what was really cool was Andy was like, "Hey, what you do? You work all day, 12 hours a day, right? The hustle, the grind." Mm-hmm. He said, "But you come home and you play hard with your kids for 30 minutes." Yeah. He's like, "You throw them in the air, you tackle them, you freaking play hard, all out for 30 whole minutes." He's like. And they will remember those 30 minutes. Yeah. They're going to be so tired after those 30 minutes that they're good. Like, they don't need 3 hours of that. 30 minutes, like, took care of it. Right. And so that's what I did for the last, like, year. Was, like, I get home at 8, and my kids will go to bed about 8:39. Yeah. And that hour, dude, I chased them. I threw them in the air. I freaking all over. I kissed them, hugged them. I went hard, dude. I'm like, we're freaking playing hard for that. That's what I did. And I'm like, okay, I want to get them. They're a little older now, too. So I'm like, let me get them a little bit more time. Yeah. But, like, I did that for a long time.
We were talking about that. Remember, I was like, man, we were so exhausted. I think that night we came back from Round Rock. It was, like, super late. And my girls had, like, 30 minutes left. And, like, I built a whole pillow castle. And then I fell asleep in the castle, actually. We did build the castle. I remember waking up like, why is it so dark? I'm like, oh, I'm still in the princess castle. My 3-year-old threw a little baby shark blanket on me, like she just, and then she went to bed, and I was like, why is this blanket so small? Yeah, they put me to bed. The kids put you to bed. Yeah, it was fun while it lasted. I still had some in the tank for him, though.
That's funny. Another thing we're doing tomorrow, I called Taylor about this. We're going to sponsor First Saturday.
Oh yeah,
the real estate event, right? And so tell me why networking is important for roofing.
Dude, they have the information that we don't have. I mean, really, this is an information game, right? Like, I mean, we learned so much from John. We learned so much from Deshaun Bryant when we talk to these people. Like, they just are in different areas, different markets, and they can teach us different lessons that we may not have to go through, right? And that speeds up time bender. Right? Anything that we can avoid as far as a pothole or something like that, which, you opened my eyes to, because, I mean, we talked about that on both of our drives about how I had to have some self-awareness about how I'm so prideful. Like, like you're not as, like, because I'm the owner, I don't want to ask another roofing company owner how to do something.
Meanwhile, I'm like, hey man, what y'all doing?
Yeah.
They're like, oh bro, this is what we're doing. And I'm like, hey Jay, we should do this. This is what these guys that are making $100 million doing. You're like, how do you know that? I'm like, I asked this guy. I just asked him and he told me. And you're like,
I'm like, don't ask him. Well, I can figure it out, Neyman. Don't do it.
I'm like, dude, no, let's just ask the dudes that already did it. It's already been done.
I'm prideful, but I'm getting better. I'm getting better about asking questions and being more vulnerable and putting ourselves out there that we just don't know it all.
Yeah.
So, and that speeds up. We've learned so much in the last few days just off of networking.
Yeah.
And then you can meet somebody that can change your life, man. The 6 degrees of separation, right? Like, we can meet one person that can provide so much value. Think about how I met you.
Yeah.
We wouldn't be sitting here if my wife didn't reach out to you, because I sure didn't.
The pride once again strikes.
Look, I said that was 2 days ago. I realized how prideful I was. But think, right? She makes that connection, which leads to another connection, which leads to another connection, which leads to us being business partners.
Yeah.
You can have one conversation that can change your life.
Dude, 100%.
So
happens quick too. All right, you mentioned something too that I did earlier this week that I forgot about. I did that Instagram live with Deshaun Bryant.
You did.
Yeah, he was telling me about how he's flying all over the country, like training these door-to-door teams. I thought that was so cool. I was like, dude, that's a really cool job to have, just flying around, training canvassing teams and sales trading. He's the coolest dude in roofing, man. He is. He's so Deshaun cool. Bryant, the coolest dude in roofing. You need to put that in your bio, bro.
He's just like the most authentic to himself, and he doesn't give anybody thinks, and he just does his thing. Yeah, and you guys jumped on that live while we were out there at the Round Rock branch. I didn't get to listen to the whole thing because I was with the Round Rock team. You tried to tag me in, but I
walked out there. I'm like, Jay, come hop on this live with me. And Jay's on the phone with a homeowner helping out, like the sales manager over there. He's like, yeah, but your ACV RCV policy is 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm like, he's busy, Deshaun.
Yeah.
I don't know what they over there talking about, but not that. So that was a lot of fun, dude. The networking and like the IG stuff. That was the first time that Deshaun had done an IG live.
Really?
Yeah, that was the first time he ever done it. And I was like, dude, you never hopped on IG live? He's like, nah, bro, I'm about to do them now, though. This was cool.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, this is awesome. Let's do it again. So it's just like the networking, piece of this is incredible.
And how quick you were like, hey, let's do an IG live. He was like, yeah. He was done. I was like,
how long have you known him?
Yeah. Like 5 years. I mean, 5 years. Like, I've
interacted with him like twice. I'm like, yo, let's do an IG live. He's like, cool, let's do it. He's never even done one. He's like, all right, let's go.
You were like, how long have you been part of Adam Bensman's group? And I was like 5 years. And you're like, and you just never wanted to ask?
You never wanted to talk to any of these cool ass people that are in this mastermind?
Prideful.
Meanwhile, I've been on the phone with like a dozen of them in like 3 days. They're like, I did the call center one and like 10 dudes reached out. I'm like, hey, what's up, man? How can I help?
Yeah.
They're like, I'm in North Carolina doing this. I'm in Alabama doing this. I'm like, do it like this, homie. I'm like, this is what we're doing. That's working. It's like, boom, boom, boom.
It's adding value. Yeah. And then I didn't realize like the movement we were creating. Like I didn't realize that till... you're like, bro, when you do the Zoom calls, just turn your camera on. And I'm like, all right. And then the other day on the leadership call, I'm like, bloop, and the camera goes, Jay, hey, you want to talk about culture, leadership, and development? And I'm like, dang, like, I never saw myself as that authority. But now that I look at it, I'm like, okay, yeah, that is something different that we're doing than the other companies.
You know what the coolest part about all that was? Your leaders being on there.
Yeah.
And them actually talking about what's happening. Because I was kind of facilitating. Adam would ask a question, and I'd be like, that's a Seth question.
Yep.
Adam would ask a question. I'd say, I got that one. Adam
Yeah.
would ask a question. I'd say, Brinson should answer that one.
Yeah.
He'd ask, I'd say, that's definitely a Jay question.
Yeah.
And so, like, because everyone has their role in the company. It's not one guy trying to figure it all the out.
Right.
It's like
Right.
you've empowered multiple leaders in your company, not managers.
And we all
leaders.
speak the same language, right?
Yep.
We were all speaking that same language that we all talk here. That is really what we are as a company and as a culture, which was just crazy. I pinched myself, man, because that's what I've always wanted to create, and now seeing it come to fruition is just incredible.
Yeah, no, it's really been a lot of fun. The last 30 days have been like the real move. Yeah. Like I came in and I was like, I don't know, let's plant a couple seeds. Let's try a couple of these things. And it was like the plant started to grow.
Yeah.
And then it was like the last 30 days have been like Jack and the Beanstalk. Like, oh,
Little shop of horrors. We're like, what?
these plants, they're growing everywhere.
Plants are singing and eating people.
Like the Mario. Oh, dude, that was cool, man. Abby. What do you want to talk about?
Well, actually, I want to add something. You know, Jay, when I first heard the idea about your company at all, like, I had no clue, nothing about you. Okay, I never met you, didn't know nothing. Just knew you had a good business strategy and you were successful and you were caring and just had everything the company needs, right? But I'm not gonna lie, at first I was like, I love real estate. I love wholesaling. I love dispo. Is it really worth the risk, you know? But, Neyman, I put my faith in you, and you asked me to join the team, and you said, no, this is where you're going to be successful. This is the right people. They know what they're talking about, and you will be better there. And honestly, I'm very excited that I did that and made that decision, because so just listening to y'all, like, I'm completely from the outside, right? I just joined. This is my first day, right? I just got my hat for the first time, okay, bro? My t-shirt never been worn yet, like, there is not a sweat stain on it yet, okay? But, like, just listening to y'all and being from the outside as a completely third party, like, I cannot wait to work for y'all. Like, I'm honestly excited to make your money. And, like, I'm excited to hire, like, tell you on Monday before the 19th, like, hey, never mind, Jay, forget about the 20. You got 40 coming in. Like, you know, I'm actually am excited. And I know we can do this and I can do this because not only I know I'm capable of it, but I have a right people beside me too.
Yeah.
Like Bob, my right hand, he's amazing. Like, you are not ready for him, really not ready for him. And not to mention Neyman, like, Neyman will be by our side the whole time to just training us, making sure we're choosing the right people. So, like, I'm just excited. Thank you again.
I mean, I'm humbled by you being part of the team. I know you came over to the 4th of July party, and you had such great energy, and I was like, who's that? And he's like, that's the one that I'm telling you that was my number one pick. And I was like, you know, just good energy and a good vibe and a good frequency you can tell off of somebody immediately. So I could definitely tell that about you. Plus, Neyman swears by you, and, like, Neyman isn't wrong a lot.
No, he's not.
It's like that Megamind thing. I'm like, you were right. I was less right.
I'm the same way. Like, no, I might be wrong, but I am not admitting it.
Exactly.
No.
It's the same people.
No.
The same people. That's how you know we got A players in the room, though.
Yeah.
And so one thing I ask myself whenever I'm looking to hire people, and this is a good one for you, does this raise the average of our team by adding this person to our circle, right? And so, like, we were probably, like, if we had to rate ourselves, you know, 1 out of 100, we were probably, like, you know, 90.
Yeah.
At this point, we were still A as a team. We're probably like 95 now, adding you and Bob. Like, it's a major boost. It's a major boost, like, to the team average. Now, you're about to hire 40 people, it's going to go back down a little bit. You know? We got to develop them to get them up. But right now, we're sitting, like, pretty high. You know, I feel really good about the team. And, like, we got most of the management and leadership figured out at this point. And so now it's just time to operate and grow. So y'all were the last, like, pieces we had to figure out for leadership and management. And it's done. And so now you're about to see the fruits of these labors.
The Thanos What are those?
Yeah.
The stones, the
Yeah,
infinity
the
stone.
infinity stones.
You were the last infinity stone.
Now we are truly inevitable. I really believe that. I really believe that we are truly inevitable at this point.
It's the recruiting stone.
That's it. The recruiting stone is done. I got all the pieces figured out. I'm like, because I came in, I didn't know what. I knew that you knew we could be successful just working together. You know, leads and whatever. And I'm like, all right, cool. I come in, we do that. And it's like, I figure out what this business is really about. And I'm like, oh, no, we're doing this like completely. You don't want me to do this at all. Trust me. Like, you want me to do this other thing. Like, I know you brought me here to do that. Like, forget all about that. And by the way, I already built that and scaled myself out of it. So don't worry about it. It's like, we're going to do this other thing now called recruiting. I'm like, and now it's time to really push this thing to the pace. Now it's just time to actually like watch it happen. Yeah, because we had, when we joined teams, it was this is definitely because of like myself and Jesus, but we had 100% of our people come with us. Not one person was like, nah, and no one knows what the they're even about to go do. They're just like, you're running through that wall, cool, let's run through that one.
Yeah, which
that's it. And I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, watch. And that was just, that was like 10, 15 people. Wait till we do that with 50, 60, 100 people. I'm like, and we're truly an army of people. I'm like, we're going this way. Who's coming with me? And he's just going to fly, 100 people raiding the streets of Dallas Fort Worth.
Yeah.
These people are so screwed.
Yeah.
This is going to be like Blow. If you bought in the late 1980s, there's an 82% chance you bought it from us. Right? It's like,
if you bought a roof back in 2025,
there's a 75% chance Miller Storm knocked on your door. It's like, dude, that's what we're trying to create. You know what I mean? So I'm super pumped now and excited. Now I'm trying to just fill the cup. Yeah, fill the cup. I'm pumped for that. Hey guys, thanks this week for tuning in to the Ney and Jay How to Scale a Roofing podcast episode. Looking forward to get this one shared with you guys. Episode 3 or 4 we missed last week. So I don't know. We'll get there though. 3.5. Tune in next week for the next update.